permanent bases. There are actually somewhere around 75 bases in Iraq, which is a country slightly larger than the size of California. But there are 14 major permanent bases. Probably the construction on them is complete now. This is like Camp Victory, Camp Anaconda. But basically the country has been decimated and converted to a military outpost for the U.S. to exert military control over the resources of Western Asia. Regarding the question of ending empire, the idea that there is concern by the colonists, as Dan already mentioned, for those colonized, that we're so concerned that when we leave, something bad might happen to those people. Let me tell you, I'm not an Iraqi citizen, I have Iraqi blood, but I feel comfortable in saying on behalf of the Iraqi people, they've had just about all the help they can take from the United States of America. This is what happens when empires come in and invade and conquer and rape and pillage, that you have problems afterwards. But the U.S. is as much a part of the solution in Iraq and Afghanistan as the Nazis were in Poland and Czechoslovakia. We are an invading force, we are an aggressive genocidal force at this point, and we have no credibility in the region. However, we might have more credibility here at home if we would reconstruct New Orleans and repair the infrastructure in our own country. Just make the point that it's often mentioned today, the brutality of the regime of Saddam Hussein. No kidding. He was a brutal and ruthless dictator, which is why during the time that he was a brutal and ruthless dictator, we should not have been arming him with chemical, biological, and conventional weapons. We invaded illegally, we destroyed the infrastructure, we dissolved civil society, there's a power vacuum, we executed the only recognized government, and now we're wondering why it's chaos there. We have to pull out, like after we stabbed Iraq in the back, you gotta pull out the foreign body before healing can begin. And we have to effect immediate unconditional withdrawal. In theory, we have a democracy in this country, but when Congress people are dependent on corporate lobbyists to fund their re-election campaigns, I'm not from New York, I cannot speak specifically for Congresswoman Maloney, but it's very clear that lobbyists and corporations are guiding our foreign policy. When the majority of Americans want change and we keep going in the wrong direction, you don't just want to rearrange the decks on the chairs on the deck of the Titanic. That's not going to change a whole lot for where this country's headed. With Obama and Clinton, at least McCain gave us a timetable of 100 years. Obama and Clinton, I'm saying, yeah, it looks a little bit better, but the reality is that they want to maintain troops to defend the embassy and to defeat Al-Qaeda. Who is Al-Qaeda? Anyone who attacks illegally invaded American soldiers, which means that will go on forever. You bring the troops home from Iraq and Afghanistan and they will stop dying there, and that is the only thing that will accomplish that mission.